Hello, lovely people. Welcome to today's edition. As you already know, on this platform, every week we try to bring special guests who are willing to share their life experience with you all, an experience that can impact your life, an experience that can transform your life, an experience that will prevent you from going through some of the challenges they went through. Today, we have one special guest, and you can see on our screen how she's glowing, and she's coming to share her life experience with us, most especially her life experience in China. She is
Mhm.
an English teacher in China, and she's Lulu. Welcome, our dear Lulu.
Thank you so much for having me. I am very happy that you invited me. I appreciate the invite, and yeah, I'm happy to be here. I hope you can hear
Wow.
me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Okay,
You are
thank you.
you are glowing so much today.
Thank you. You're making me shy. But thank you. Yes, I decided to just, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's that's nice. So,
yeah,
what is your surname? Last week I had one guest from South Africa, and I really love his surname. Would you
yeah.
like to tell us your surname? I love those African names, those long ones.
Mine is quite a tongue twister, I know. My surname is Ramohomani. Ramohomani.
Ramuhomani. Oh
Yes,
wow,
that's
interesting.
Ramohomani. Yes, that's my surname.
Oh, and what's the meaning?
Oh
Do you know the?
my, I've never been asked that before.
Oh,
That really tells you that I don't know. I've never been asked that before. I don't even know, hey? But I just know that my people are like what is this thing where we are people that are ruled by the lion spiritually. So we are the
oh,
lion people. So we have like a lot of things that we attribute to the lion. And yeah, so that's all I know. But I really, really do not know what my surname is. I think I once asked my mom when I was like 2 years old,
yeah.
but I really have never really kept. Um,
That's,
I really don't know. I have no idea. Maybe my siblings know. I'm not that curious. No.
oh, okay. Is that common that you have surnames that you don't know the meaning, something like that?
I don't know why. I've never really asked. I've never really asked. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's
I've
okay. It
never
happens.
asked.
It happens.
Are those the kind of questions that you can ask me? Listen, I'm out. I'm out. I don't want to be
No,
embarrassed.
no, no. For real, I love these African names. They are so
Yes,
special.
yes, yes, yes,
If,
yes, yes,
if,
yes. But
you
what
are
I
able,
know is that
yeah,
my tribe is one that is represented by the lion, Khabatawung. So I'm a Sotho, and
yeah,
we are represented by the lion, or we believe in the lion. And yeah, that's all I know. I just don't really know much about that part of my life. It's not that I don't know a lot of things, but just those things that have to do with lions and my surname, and you know yeah. In fact, you've gotten me curious. I'm going to do more research. You've given me a task. You've given me a
okay, wow,
task.
interesting.
Yes.
So that is a Zulu name or Zwana name?
No, 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 no. Ke Mosotho. I'm a Sotho. I am a Sotho. I'm not a Zulu. I'm not a Tswana. I'm a Sotho. Ke Mosotho.
Suto. Actually, I've never heard. I only know the Zulus and the Zwanas. Yeah. Oh, wow. Interesting. I'm
Yes.
learning a lot.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know why, but especially here in China, people always assume that, every South African is a Zulu. But I always
Yeah.
tell them that no, we have 11 languages in South Africa, and that should tell you that we have a lot of um, languages and people. So therefore, you can go to one part of South Africa and not understand what people are saying. This is why a lot of us, we have to speak English, because then you'll be able, it makes communication easier. But Sotho
Yeah.
is quite popular as well. So yeah, ke Mosotho.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so cool. Today I've learned something new.
Yes, we are. We are. If you know the history of Kim Moshweshwe, then you would know he. Yeah, historically, he's the one we are from the Free State. So in South Africa, there's a province called the Free State. So when you go to the
Yeah.
Free State, that is where you'll find Basotho. Our capital city is Bloemfontein. So people that know Bloemfontein do know that there in Bloemfontein, people speak Sotho. So that's where I'm from. I'm from
Oh
the Free
wow.
State, yes, but I'm not from Bloemfontein. I am from Free State. I'm from Kwakwa, and my family then moved to Welcome. So that's where we are now.
Wow. Cool. So who is Lulu? If somebody is to ask who is Lulu, who is Lulu? Apart from that beautiful lady.
Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Lulu is a 33-year-old dreamer. Lulu is a 33-year-old dreamer. I'm someone that dreams a lot. And yeah, and I do take action in those dreams. I'm very, very ambitious. I'm very driven and I push. I'm a hustler. I am a hustler. Yeah.
Wow. You said dream?
Yeah, I'm a dreamer. There was an ad back home. It used to say, Vuyo is a big, big dreamer. I think Lulu is a big, big dreamer. So that's how I definitely would define or describe myself. Someone that is very, very ambitious, someone that is very, very driven, someone that dreams a lot and just constantly pushes, 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 pushes. I do not think there's anything under the sun that I'm incapable of doing. So if I don't know how to do it, I'll learn. But let's go. I'm
Wow. Okay,
that
wow.
person. Yeah. Like I told
Then,
you, I'm shy and you asked me for this interview, I'm doing it because I'm that person. Even if I can't do something, I'll do it. So yeah, that's me.
wow. Then I also love to dream as well. Looking at your complexion and how you look, if I'm to compare you as somebody in Ghana, the person is supposed to be a celebrity, kind of slave queen, modeling, those type. Why did you become an English teacher, or you didn't know you can become that type?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. But why become a teacher? It was an opportunity that presented itself, and it suited my personality and it was a journey towards the things that I wanted. So I felt like it was not something I was just do for the sake of doing, but it was something which I was really gonna learn from, apply myself and ensure that I do well, but also use it as a tool towards. So I'm on a journey here. So teaching is one of the things that I've picked up along the way in order for me to get to where I need to get. I haven't got to there yet. So I guess teaching is that bridge. So yeah.
Oh, so you just picked it along the way, meaning you had some other dreams, other aspirations as well. What were they?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But when I was in Koko, I remember my late neighbor, she used to give me student papers for me to help her mark. And when I was in uni, so I would sit with her for hours helping mark her high school students. And she'd say to me, you are you're going to make a great teacher one day. And I just laughed at her. I'm like, me, a teacher? Are you serious? Because at that time I was studying English and political science, and I
Yeah,
just saw myself, when we were in class, our lecturer used to tell us about careers in parliament, how there were people that were writing speeches for presidents, working for different embassies around the world, and all of those
yeah.
things. My mind was there. I was not thinking about teaching. Are you serious? Don't play with me. So so I've never thought about it as a career. I never thought about it as a career, but I knew that I wanted to get somewhere, and I needed to do things that were not things that I thought of. And I guess teaching became one of those things that I got along the way. I really picked it up along the way. I picked it up along the way, but it's always been there. I always find myself in teaching situations and learning situations. So in life, generally, it's not something that is like a a, a shock. It's just a matter of adapting to a more structured teaching environment. But in life, generally, I'm a teacher and a learner every day, so it's okay. but I love it. I definitely do love it. I do. I do love it.
Well, I'm glad you love it. So, how come you picked it?
Oh my. Oh my. Let me look at my battery. This story is gonna be long. Okay, so what happened was,
Yeah,
I'm from South Africa, and
yeah.
I studied English and political science.
Oh,
And what I studied at the time, I guess the market did not have anything for it, because as soon as I finished uni, I
yeah.
then got a position. I remember my very first job, I worked in sales. I was
Okay.
working for a company. I used to sell pads.
Ladies' part.
Yes, I used to sell pads at a shop. I used to be
Yeah,
a sales rep for pads. So I used to stand there and convince people to buy
yeah,
my pads, and I did that. And then when I finished that, at the time, obviously I had completed my degree, so I was always on the lookout for something. And then I got another job, worked for Simba, and then there I was on a sales leadership. So I did training for sales. So I did a
yeah,
sales leadership for a year. And when I finished that, I then went into sales again, where I was working for Samsung. And but I had other jobs in between, because I remember the other job that I did, which I think, oh my God, teaching has always been there. I got a call one time to go and teach at a mining company, where I was teaching their students, because there's some mines are like having people that came in like in the olden days and they never got to complete the high school and whatnot. So I was
yeah.
invited to go there and teach them, for them to prep for their matric exams and their other exams, which was quite enjoyable, really. I enjoyed that time. Uh, I did that. So I did quite a lot of things, but the
Yeah.
majority of the things that I did had to do with people, interaction, sales, and just having to teach people. Because I mean, I think having to teach people about a product and
Yeah.
convincing them to buy it is also another, excuse me,
Pro-
another teaching. So I guess that's what it was for me. And I did that, and then I wanted more, and I couldn't get more, and I was frustrated. I was frustrated. I was depressed. Um, I felt like I wasn't where I needed to be, because people would always tell you about your potential, even when you don't see it in yourself. People ask you, "What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be somewhere? I mean, why are you here?" And you're like, "There's nothing." And I remember my then boss, as hard as it was on me, looking back, I'm like, okay, I needed that. He said to me, I look at how you write your reports. I don't think you should be here. I think you should be somewhere else, where you are going to be appreciated, where you're going to be happier. I don't think sales is something that you want to do. I took offense at the time when he said it, but looking back, actually, that was good.
Your
Also, then,
boss.
and then teaching came along the way of having conversations with people about what it is that I needed to do. And then
Yeah.
randomly saw I was on Facebook. I saw, do you want to teach in China? Something like that. Like, because I knew about teaching in Dubai, and I knew that I was not going to be able to do it, because I had studied English and political science. I did not have a teaching qualification. And in Dubai, they needed you to have like a 4-year degree or something. I don't know. But I was like, oh my goodness, in China? And I looked at the thing, and I qualified, and I just had to do like a teaching training thing, which I did. But I was in disbelief, because let me tell you something. I remember one time I was crying so much, but this was a year after my grad, right? And I was selling pads, and I felt like such a loser, because people that I'd finished school with at the time were already buying their first cars. And I would run into them and I'd be so embarrassed, because, oh my God, because in uni, I was that girl. In uni, I was that girl, and now that girl is here. I felt like, back home they say, "Oh, like you have fallen, you're down, you're down." I was like, "Oh my goodness," I was feeling like I was feeling like I wasn't really good enough. And I think also being on social media plays that role as well, because when you look at people and the things that they post, they're posting in hotels, they're posting in restaurants, they're posting this glamorous life, and you are not a part of that content. And you feel like, oh my God, I haven't done enough with my life. So all of those factors contributed to my being depressed. I cried so much in that bathroom. I cried. I said, God, if you don't love me, just take me, because this is too much. This is too much. You can't embarrass me like this. There are times when you need to pray, but there are times when you need to talk to him direct, like, hey, Baba, listen here. So I did exactly that. And what's even crazy about this whole China thing? When I was in uni, the 2013, I was working with a friend, and they were talking about this girl that had come to China and how she had done it. But it was just a conversation. And so when I saw the ad that day, I was like, oh my God, yes, I once heard about this thing many years ago. This China thing is real. I know. And nobody told me. No, it was just on Facebook. I saw it. And then after that, I joined the Facebook group and I started going through the chats, and then I started asking questions. And 3 months later, I was ready. I was ready. And that's how the whole thing happened. It just happened like that. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you said your boss advised you to look for something better.
Yeah,
Your boss.
he was just like, I don't think this is for you. I don't think this is for you. I see how you write, and I know what he meant. I'm one person. If I'm not in a good environment, I don't know how to be like, my face was just not be like, I don't know. So I guess he just could not understand how someone could write so beautifully. Like, my reports were very engaging, yet in
Yeah,
person I was not engaged. I was very withdrawn. I was very quiet. I was just not the person that was on paper. And that alone told him that I was not happy, and I think that's what he meant. It was just simply saying to me, look, I think that, you would be better off doing something else other than this. It's how he said it, though, that did not sound right. But now that I'm older and I'm able to understand certain things, I know now that he actually just meant that, I needed maybe to change jobs and, you know,
wow,
yeah,
wow, interesting. So
yeah,
during those days, you said you were depressed about not getting a job, your friends doing so well, and all those things.
yeah.
You never thought about maybe marriage or something? Because I know most ladies, even after uni, what they usually think of is to get married, to get this rich man. And you are also very beautiful. What?
you know, um, for me, I have never thought about it. I have never thought about it. Um, if you want to talk about men and how patriarchy still plays a role in society, and how a lot of women find themselves in positions where they trade their bodies out of desperation because men still hold positions of power, and therefore men will tell you, if you want this job, go down on your knees. It
Yeah,
happens more often than people think.
yeah,
I I've had so many instances of people whom I trusted, people that were my mentors, that when I needed them, and they knew, because people know desperation has a smell.
yeah.
So when they knew that I needed them, then that was the option that was given to me, that, oh, let's go to
Oh,
a hotel. And I don't know if people understand, being sexualized is such a filthy thing. It makes you feel cheap as well, because you don't attribute it to the other person. You just think to yourself, oh my goodness, maybe I'm cheap, maybe I'm this, because how dare you talk to me like that?
yeah,
So I think I had over a lot of incidents where I was put in that position, but I thank God that my father has always encouraged me to take the long road. My father has always been very adamant on the fact that I'm here, and I've been lucky, because I think if I didn't have my dad, maybe
yeah,
I would have, because what else was I going to do? Go to bed hungry? But thankfully, my dad has always told me not to be embarrassed by the jobs that I took, not to be embarrassed by the long road, because working in retail meant that I would be in spaces of seeing people in power, seeing
Yeah.
my meeting bosses, meeting, all sorts of people and people whom I
People,
could
yeah.
talk to and say, hey, listen, actually, I have this degree, I have this and I have that. If you have an opportunity for me, please give it to me. And he told me, I did not even know. He told me, like, listen here, there's internal recruitment. Before companies look outside, they look within. So as long as you're in, even if you're the cleaner, they will recruit you and you'll get into the job that you need. So I was blessed in that regard. But I had so many incidents. Oh my God, I could write an entire book about people, you know, um, I remember one guy in particular that I was very, very close with when I was in uni because I was studying politics and he was like a politician. And I was so
Yes.
proud of him. And I saw him as like a father, a big brother. We were so cool. We used to be so cool. And I get along with a lot of men, maybe because I have such a good relationship with my dad and, I have a brother. So
Yes.
I never, ever at any point in time looked at him and thought, no. But now I finished my degree. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. Let me call my friend. I have contacts. Yes, 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 it's time.
You
And
have built network.
I'm hey, yes, now I've built a network. I'm that girl. I'm smart. I know those things now. And the guy is like, yeah, listen, I'm gonna come to your CET. Let's meet up. And when we met up, the way he was
Yeah.
complimenting me was not natural to me. And he was just looking at me. And then later on, I guess he couldn't tell me that in person. So he called me and he said to me, I would like for us to go away, like on a weekend away.
A week.
Do what? And he was like, you're not a child.
You,
And he dangled this guy to me and said to me, oh, by the way, I have this guy that his municipality is looking, and I think it'd be perfect for that job. But I think we'll talk more in detail when you come over. Let's meet. You know, that thing hurt me so much. Look, I'm a crier. I will cry when I'm in pain. I cried and I was sad. I was pained by that because I
yeah.
trusted him, And I had so many other incidents. I remember I remember this one guy got me a job. I had so
Yeah.
many jobs. He got me a job, this one. And then when he got me a job, he went and spoke to those people and they met me and they said, oh, you can come and start on Monday, by the way. I was like, oh, great. So then I went back home. And then when
Yeah.
I went back home, and he said to me, oh, when we went back, he said to me, well, when you go back home to fetch your things, I'm gonna get my own flat. I'm gonna stay alone. That was in Bloemfontein, the capital city of my province. And he
Yeah.
was like, no, you're gonna stay with me.
Stay with him.
Why? He was like, oh, if you don't stay with me, don't bother coming back. I'm gonna call those people and tell them you're not gonna get the job. Let me tell you what I
Oh.
did. He's not gonna do that to me. I am stubborn AF. Come Sunday, I was there with my mom praying about my job. I didn't even tell my parents that, that job, they told me not to go back. My mom was there praying for me, telling me how proud she was of me. I had my siblings. And I went. I remember that Sunday, I will never forget this guy.
Yeah.
He's from my hometown, Godwa. I called him because he lived in that city. Mind you, we are just acquaintances. Although, we share like a tribal something, but we are not like close. But he
Yeah.
was in that city, okay? And I called him and I said, hey, my guy, I got a job. I'm starting tomorrow. I don't have a place to stay. I don't know what I'm going to do. He was in Godwa. Godwa is like 3 hours away. But that guy said, by 7 o'clock, I'm going to be in Bloem. You go to Bloem. When I got there, he was waiting for me. He picked me up.
Yeah.
He took me to his house. And I stayed with that guy. And not once did he do funny things. Not once did he do funny things. He took me to work every morning and he
Yeah.
found me girls that I could move in with. He said, oh, by the way, we have other girls from Kwakwa that you can move in with. They have a flat. He called them. The girls are like, oh, if it's Lulu, of course you can come. And I moved in with them and I
Yeah.
finished that project and worked there. Monday, I was there. Lunchtime, imagine that man. Lunchtime, he came like a bully to check. And he looked at me and I said, I know my rights, excuse me. But these are the things that will tell you that sometimes you have to be very, very stubborn and understand that
Yeah.
once you agree to those terms, once you agree to sleeping with someone, you're going to be a slave at the job. You won't be able to have a voice at the job. You won't be able to be ambitious at the job. You won't be able to dream because
Yeah.
you are a slave to that person and they can discard you any day. The next girl that walks in, that is their next property. And who knows what they're going to leave you with. For me, with the high rates of HIV, I did not think that was worth it. I did not
Yeah.
think that was worth it because I always knew that there's no one that has more power than God. And my
Wow.
parents' words, whatever that my dad told me, that is the only thing that I heard. And no one else could tell me anything. So that is why, even though I was challenged by all this man, I was
Yeah.
able to not give in. There was, because I did not know Gucci, I did not know Prada, I did not think like that. I just knew that I needed money to start my businesses. I just knew that I needed money to do the things that I wanted, but I did
Yeah.
not need money for content. I did not need money to look expensive and rich. No, I just needed a start. I just needed something, you know? So
Yeah.
those people do not bother me. I do not care for them. And that's why I stood up to them and I can talk about them because I'm not scared of them to this day, you know?
Wow. Wow. That's so interesting to hear. So within that time, you say you were so depressed
Yes,
during
of
that.
course.
How's the feeling during that time?
Oh my. Um, when you live your life in comparison to others, you do not see any blessings. You don't see any good in your life. You have become very, very self-critical and you don't appreciate your journey. You don't appreciate your experiences. You don't appreciate anything. You just feel like a loser throughout. And you're constantly in that state and you lose your confidence. And that's the worst thing that can ever happen to you. You lose your confidence
Yeah.
and you lose your identity. And for me, I did not, to this day, I don't know any other thing to do when I'm feeling down other than to pray, you know.
Wow.
Um, I just did not know because look, I can talk to someone that I'm unemployed, but there are a million others that are unemployed. So,
Yes.
you know, but the person or the only one that knows how that feels for me is God, you know,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
one that can stop that for me is God, you know. So that's what it was for me. I was feeling so down. I think for me, the most embarrassing, the one thing for me was not so much comparing myself with other people, but comparing myself with my potential, whom I thought I should have been
You
at the
can
time. But
be.
the fact that
Yeah.
I was not made me feel like a loser, and my existence to me was an embarrassment. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm making sense. I know that sounds very contradictory, but that's what it
Yeah.
was for me because at the end of the day, I couldn't. I just did not feel good. I did not feel
Being
good.
enough or
I
being
did not feel
full
good.
of
You know,
potential.
I remember one time, you know, Simba chips, Pepsi, you know, Pepsi?
Pepsi, yeah. The
Yes,
Pepsi
Simba
drink.
chips. Yes.
Yeah.
So Pepsi owns Simba, so that's the company that I worked for. So I was
Okay.
on my sales learnership. This is what my job was. I was working for for Simba, and I was a sales learner. So that meant I was traveling with a truck driver on the side. You know, a truck driver has got an assistant. I was that person in the truck. That was my job. We used to deliver
Oh.
chips and pack
Oh.
chips. So that means everywhere I went, I saw people my age driving their own cars.
Yeah.
I was there packing chips
Those-
in the shops, garages, going to villages, cities, and towns just to meet targets. Because when you work there, you get targets and you have to meet targets and whatnot. So, but that's what it was. And every time I ran into someone that I went to uni with, ooh, ooh, you
Yeah.
know?
They were living the life.
Yeah. And I remember this one time, we were in some, well, I forgot the place. Oh my God. But somewhere in the Free State, right?
Yeah.
And this lady, I wanted to say the place because it adds a lot of context to the story, but it doesn't matter. So now
Yeah.
we are at that place, ready to pack our chips. I remember I arrived there with my brother, whom I love very much. Lizio, I used to work with him. He was so amazing.
Yeah.
We got off And what he used to do, because he was tall and I was short, he would pack the boxes. I don't know if you know how big the Simba boxes are, like this big. He'd pack the
Yeah.
boxes and hand them to me. I used to carry 4, 5 boxes like this, the big ones. Huh?
I won't believe that until I see.
And I and I would get in the store, put the boxes down, would have it, depending on how many boxes the person has bought. And sometimes you
Yes.
get to a store and they're out of stock and they have a big demand or they have a sale, so they're buying half the truck, so you have to offload half a truck.
A lot.
Just
Yeah.
me and him, just me and him. Then afterwards we open the boxes, pack. I know how to pack now. We're packing. And we used to do
Really?
that. So this lady saw me and she was with her daughter. That mama pulled her daughter and said to her, "Do you see her?" And the child said, "Hmm." She said, "This is where I want you to go to school. I don't want you to end up like her."
Oh, really?
Let me tell you how much I cried. Let me tell you how much I cried. I cried to learn that I was an example of what a loser was. You know, I was feeling so defeated because I knew, I don't know why, but even then I knew it was not over for me. It was just a question of when. God was too slow for me. So that hurt me because I'm like, I know that you've got something for me, but why are you taking your time? Why are you torturing me? What are you
Yeah.
doing to me? So that made me cry. So I got home. When I heard, at first it felt like I wasn't hearing. Like what? And because I'm one of those people who are I'm a very, very, I'm very shy, but I'm very, very confident. You can't tell
Yeah.
me nothing about me. But when I heard that, I think maybe my most initial reaction would have been, "You don't know me." But it hit me so hard. I spoke about it with Lizio. When I got home, I cried about it. I spoke to my dad. My dad was like,
Don't mind.
you guys like stress, you know? He's a very chilled guy. I was like, you guys like stress. There's nothing here. What somebody
Yeah.
says about you, you know that's not true. So why would you cry over someone's truth of you? If it's not your truth, then you shouldn't be bothered. If you know that this is not the end of the world for you, why are you sad? You
Yeah.
know? You shouldn't be. But at that time, I was so hurt. But it was good to know that, I had an outlet and I had people to talk to, because some people really do not have um, an outlet. So it really hurt me, that thing. That's why to this day I remember it, because I think such things are the things that happen to us, and at that time they're so defeating. But later on, you reflect and you look back and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I needed
Wow.
that.
I'm really impressed by how you were handling issues those days. What advice? There are so many cases whereby we have many ladies going to get opportunities. What advice will you give to ladies in these kind of situations? For example, a period where they are so depressed, they're in a situation of no hope. What advice will you give to these kind of ladies?
Well, hmm. What I will say is that it's not over until God says it's over, and there's no one that has power and authority over your life more than God. So I think the issue is that sometimes we want to do this life thing alone. We want to move solo. We want to push mountains alone, forgetting
Yeah,
the source. So that is why we find ourselves so desperate, because we think, oh my God, what would life be without this person? Oh my God, what is
yeah,
to become of me? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And you end up doing things that you'll never be able to sleep at night, you know?
yeah,
So my thing is, people should never ever think that there's anyone that can get in the way of their destiny. No one can ever get in the way of the things that God has designed for you. And the harder it gets, the closer you need to get to God. I don't know any other advice that does not include God. All I know is that the harder it gets, the closer you need to get to God, because once God has decided, once God has decided, no one can decide otherwise. So even if that man says, "Oh yeah, get on your knees," once you pray about it, because that's what God wants for you. Tomorrow when you go, that man will call you and say, "Hey, my sister, you know, I was thinking, hey sister, hey my sister, you know, pro black, let's do this thing," because He's conscious. God has gotten to him. The source has gotten to him. God has a way of changing impossible to possible. So we don't need to put our lives in the hands of man. And that by men, I mean people. No one can
Yeah.
decide your life for you. You don't need to sell yourself short because you are the child of a creator. God has created everything that we see. So how dare you doubt God? So do not limit yourself and think that, oh my God, I didn't make it. Oh my God. And the other thing,
Yes.
enemy, comparison.
Comparison.
If you compare yourself, this I learned through me. If you compare yourself, then it means you don't have faith in God. It means you don't understand that He's got a plan for each and every one of us. So if you're comparing yourself, it means you're asking God to give you someone else's journey, and you don't
Yeah.
know what that journey comes with because people never tell you the things that happen behind the scenes. So you might be
Yeah.
seeing your favorite content creator and saying, "Oh God, why? Ooh, what was that thing?" As a God when, God when. But you don't know the God when and the demon that it comes with, you
Yeah.
know? You don't know. And sometimes when we want things so bad, the devil hears us and he rushes quickly and we
Yeah.
think that those things are from God, but those things are from the devil. So
Yeah.
we need to have discernment. We need to be closer to God so we can have wisdom and understand that He's got a plan for us. And whatever that He's got for us will come. It's going to be hard. It's not easy. I know it's not easy because you will
Yeah.
look at other people and think to yourself, I am not good enough. My life is over. I've graduated. I have a master's. I am good. I qualify. I've applied. I even applied to be a cleaner with my master's, but I'm not getting hired. But
Yes.
time will come. Everything that there's no way God can bring you here for you to be nothing. We
Wow.
become nothing because we decide to somehow abandon God. Even if we go to church every Sunday, we just show Him, but spiritually we are not in tune with God. So I would advise that every young woman gets closer to God, even
Yeah.
if it means that you have to be in isolation, even if it means you have to be different. Your tribe will find you, but do not be afraid to speak godly about God. Do not be afraid to undertake the journey with God because only God can decide your life for you. But once you decide to put your hands in the hands of man, your life in the hands of men, it means
Yeah.
then you are saying you will be okay with whatever it
Yeah.
comes with. It will come quick, but would the sacrifice be worth it? Because
Yeah.
I don't think that all of us want to sleep good at night. So having to know that you've gotten your job through having slept with someone's husband, through having slept with some loser at work, a man that is disgusting with a big belly, you know, just having to do things that you know that you wouldn't be proud of daytime, just because you wanted to eat, just because you felt like a loser, just because you wanted to prove a point to people. There's no need
Yes.
to do all of those things. Once you're a child of God, you know there's no need to prove a point to people. You don't need to prove a point to people that you're educated. You don't need to prove a point to people that you're smart. You don't need to
Yeah.
prove a point to people about anything because you understand your assignment. So you will be okay even in those times of trial and being humble because you know that you're being molded. Your character is being molded because maybe God knows something about you that He knows that if these things come now, there's something about you that, you know,
Yeah.
so allow God, go through the process, go through the wilderness, go through it, allow it. I know it's not easy. I know, because I've been through it. I know the tears, I know the needs, I know the need for money. Like, oh my God, I don't even have money for airtime. I don't have money to send my
Wow.
CV. I don't have money to print out. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Let me just do it this one time. But
Yes.
that is, what if that one time is the day that God was going to do something about it and you decided to take this journey?
Wow.
So
I
sometimes it's
yeah.
sad, but the wait is worth it. Just keep on pushing. Keep on pushing.
Wow. I'm so passionate about this, and I like us to even talk much about that.
Yes,
In your situation, that when you were depressed during those times,
yes,
you said the feeling was so bad, but
yes,
you, luckily for you, you even had your dad who was encouraging you and all those things.
yes,
You had some support. Sometimes in life there are situations that they're so hard that you think that is the only option, you know, that is the only option.
I
So
know. I
during
know.
that period, you was there a time that you even had the feeling, oh, let me just go in for this man or something, like you didn't have anything like that?
No. No, no, no. I remember the guy that all of these men that I speak of are very powerful men that have got a lot of money. I remember one
Yeah,
time I was telling friends after the fact, and I just come back from the project in Bloemfontein, where I said I walked in on Monday stubbornly and did the job, and we would finish the project. And once the project was done, now I was back in my city and I was looking for a job in Joburg, right? So
yeah,
while I was doing that, I was having a chat with friends, and I was telling them this whole thing, and they made me feel so bad. They're like, no, 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 call that man. Yo, how, no, 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 no. You know,
yeah,
you can't do that, And they made me, that thing of, maybe, mm, but,
yeah,
but there's something about having a conscious, when you don't do certain things, your conscious will always lead you. You will always go back to yourself and be like, nah,
yeah.
no, I won't do that. I won't do that. Because what are they going to give me? What would have he given me that I haven't given myself now at 33?
Wow.
What would he have given me? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the thing is, sometimes you sell yourself short. You sell yourself for a 10,000
Absolutely.
rands bag. You sell yourself for a bottle of wine. You sell yourself for moving into a man's estate. You sell yourself short. But God says, you came here as an individual. And when you are my child, you own all the abundance. So you can have it all and it can be yours. You don't have to worry about someone asking you at 12 o'clock, Sophia, come and give me some. Get on your knees. You have pride. When you have your own thing, even the way you carry your things, the way you walk, you have your
Yeah,
own things. You're proud not because you're proud because I did it. No, you're proud because you have your dignity and you're walking with God. You're not walking with people's spirits that have tainted everything because of your lust and your greed, because it's greed wanting things that you haven't worked for.
yeah.
It's greed
Wow.
wanting things that a person that has worked for 10 and 20 years has. You want them immediately when you finish university in the first year? No. So sometimes you need to evaluate what you're depressed about. Sometimes you're depressed about things that you shouldn't be depressed about, actually. You should be,
Yeah.
So sometimes you need to really sit with yourself and evaluate what it is that you're stressed about. It's like, what I think about is that some people are depressed over owning a jet when they've never worked a day in their lives. Like, you see? So that's
Yeah.
what it is. And I'm not saying that I don't recognize the fact that it gets hard,
Yes.
because people don't have an outlet, people don't have support, people don't have people that they talk to. There's no space for vulnerability. Our communities lack that spirit of togetherness, that spirit of Ubuntu, that love that it once had. You're on your own. If anything,
Yeah.
we just want to be friends for a good time. We don't really want to be there through the wilderness. But I mean, once you understand that we are spiritual beings here, you will understand that sometimes, even if you have people in your life, you will still feel alone when that depression hits. Even if you have, like I told you before, it's not everything that I told my family. My family would be very surprised to know about certain things actually here, because some of the things
Yeah.
they don't know. So
Yeah.
sometimes, even if you have that support, you do feel alone, because that is your assignment, that is
Definitely.
your journey. But you don't have to do certain things, don't just, even if you're hungry, it's okay.
Yeah.
Even if you feel like, what am I going to do? What do you mean? Because this person is because that's what they do. They will dangle these things to you, like to say, oh, well, here it is. Here's 10,000.
Yeah.
Get on your knees. But mm-mm.
Okay.
Even if it's hard, keep on trying, keep on praying, or whatever means that you use for you to feel good, other than having to feel like you need to to trade your body. And here I'm speaking majorly for women. I know men also get challenged a lot by men that
Yeah.
are in position of power and they do funny things to them. But mostly our young women are the ones that are really, I feel like
So
there's
much.
an attack on women now. So I'm
Yeah.
speaking to them to say, you don't have to rush, you don't have to worry. Things are going to be okay. And if you have to, take that cleaning job in that construction company, take that job at ShopRite with your master's degree, take that job, sweep the streets, do it, because that is your network. That is where you're going to meet the executive. That is where you're going to meet the the bosses. That is where you're going to meet all these people. Be that tea lady, be that receptionist, because that
Yeah.
is when you will have conversations with the right people. That is your entry to the door. No one enters the door as the CEO.
Wow.
It doesn't start like that. So when
I
you are
like.
in school,
Yeah.
and you don't network, it's okay if you can't network. But if you can, while you're in school, take part-time jobs, work, be a waitress, be a waiter while you're in school. If you don't have the luxury to do so, it's okay. When you
Yeah.
finish school, do those things. More than anything, attend seminars, attend important events in your communities. That is where you'll meet people. Attend sporting activities. You
Yeah.
will not, people at the club will not, people don't go to the club. They will lie to you. They will tell you, give me your CV. But that's not, they're not going to take it seriously because 10 other people are going to do the same thing because they know that this person is a manager. But if you go to a charity event, if you go
Yeah.
to a volunteering event, if you go to events that are of the community, or if you start those jobs where you're a waitress, if you're a cleaner and whatnot, there's a sense of seriousness about you. There's a level of seriousness about you that if you say to someone, hey, mister, sorry to bother you. See, I just gave you coffee, but say, I'm
Yeah.
currently looking. And you must be bold. Be bold. Talk to people. Talk to people. Look people in the eye and say, listen, I am looking for something here. Sell
Yeah.
yourself. Sell yourself always. And sell yourself. I'm not talking about the sale. I'm talking about, you know.
Which who cell are you talking about?
Sell yourself. I mean, market yourself. Talk about yourself. You endorse yourself every chance you get. When you are
Yeah.
there working as a receptionist, tell people, the powers that be, that I actually have a master's. Actually, I have a degree in this. If you have something, please, I'm here. Um, that's how you sell yourself. You talk about yourself. Every time, every day, apply for jobs. Do the work. Do the groundwork. Do the groundwork because I mean, how else are you going to get there? You can't just, move from one destination, jump from one destination to the other. It doesn't work that way. That's not how life works. It's a journey. Allow
Yeah.
the process. Allow the process. Don't stay confined to one place. While you're in one place, carve carve your way, carve your way, carve your way, make way for the next destination. And you do that through your network. Talk to people.
Wow. I'm now understanding why you said you're a dreamer at the beginning. I'm now getting it.
Yes.
Okay, so in this instance, for your situation, at a point it wasn't just men, it was just your fellow female, a woman telling her daughter that don't go to school and be like this lady.
Yes. But do you blame her? I don't. I think it was good of her to do that. Because look, she is just a mom. She doesn't know me. She's just seeing look, we are also guilty of that. Are you not? Where you see someone that is otherwise and you're like, don't be like that. It's a cautionary tale to your child to say, if you don't go to school, girl, you will carry the 6 boxes. I don't blame that
Be like
lady.
this.
The only thing is that I heard her because maybe it was intended for me to hear her.
Yeah,
It was meant for it to be a two-way message because I can tell you this much. It's not a bad thing that she did because she did not know me. She
yeah,
was just talking to her daughter to say, if you don't listen to me,
yeah,
if you don't go to school, you will end up like this. Because remember, people that normally do these jobs are, are people that did not finish school, people that maybe did not listen to their parents and they were rebellious. And then later on, they're trying to look for jobs. That's how we think as society, that if you're someone
yes,
who's a cleaner, they are this, that, just
People
working like just jobs, basic jobs. Then we think that those people did not go to school, but we don't know people. We don't know people. So that lady, she was just following what society dictates in terms of thought around people that do certain jobs to say, well, she must be another loser. So let me just talk to my daughter and tell her that I don't want you to wind up like that. I don't blame that lady at all, because let me tell you something.
yeah.
Although because of my story, I will tell my daughter a different story, but I would definitely caution her about certain things in society. So I just happen to have been the one for that day. So I don't think that it was a bad thing. I really, really don't. It hurt me, yes, but
Yeah, probably she shouldn't have even let you hear what she said. I think that would
But
have done well.
who's to say that? Because at the end of the day, if you are told in this times that we live in, where children don't listen to their parents, we are where we are. We are depressed the way that we are. We are so misled because we don't listen to our parents. Parents are also desperate to give their children guidance, and they're using examples around them to say, "Listen, look at this, look at that." So in that moment, I happen to have been there. I think it would
Yeah.
have been a different thing if that lady knew me as a person and she was saying that, then the argument would be she shouldn't have. But look, she's seeing a lady there working hard, picking up boxes, struggling, burning in the sun. You know how
Yeah.
I looked. I don't blame that lady. So for me, I don't see it as a personal attack. It was just another thing that reminded me that, oh my God, I still need to do more with my life. Oh my God, I can't keep on being an example of a loser. Oh no, God, you see now as a joke today because you don't rush. So
Wow. You know what? I'm really impressed about how you took it, because you were not even that worried because of what she said, but you were worried because you thought that was not your level, what
yes,
your situation. Wow, that is so powerful.
yes.
Wow, I'm really impressed you thought it that way.
Yeah, I was more so hurt at the fact that, I think if I had time or if I felt like it would have been a teaching moment, but also you don't take away from a parent's duty. I think if it was any other time, if it was, it would have been like, hey, by the way, my lady, you must not talk like that because some of us have degrees here. Times are tough. Yeah, you must think twice. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's okay. I think it is good that it happened for her daughter. Maybe her daughter even finished school because of that. She told me it was like, it can never be me. We are
Yeah.
where we are now because we looked at other people's jobs and what they did for a living. We thought, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that for myself. So I need to push harder. So
Yeah.
that's what it was. But sometimes we don't know people's stories. And sometimes with the way the economy is and the way things are, you will take that job. You'll do it. And I still encourage people to do it because you need to be internal for you to really rise up the ranks sometimes.
Wow, that's so powerful. I'm really impressed about this story. I never thought we would even go there. We would talk about these things, yeah. But
Yeah.
these are some of the biggest challenges, especially in Ghana. I don't know of other African countries or other countries, but
Yes.
in Ghana, this information will really help so many ladies. So you saw that China post and you were so happy about it.
I
Did
was
you
like,
know
what's
much
wrong?
did you know much about China, and what made you so happy about getting a job not in Dubai but China?
I don't know much about China. Heck, I thought Hong Kong was the capital city of China. I didn't know much about China. I just knew Shanghai because my sister and I once watched TV and we were watching there was a show that I liked, Eastern Mosaic, and we were watching Shanghai and they cooked this chicken
Yeah.
and we were intrigued by the chicken. The chicken made us watch, like, oh, why are they cooking like that? And the lady was going around different parts of Shanghai and I was intrigued by Shanghai. I was like, wow, this Shanghai place is really, really like, wow, okay.
Sorry for
I
interrupting.
wanted, now I was intrigued, like I want to go to Shanghai. This Shanghai, it really looked so beautiful. To this day, I think Shanghai has got,
Yeah.
it's very, very beautiful. It's a very beautiful place. But I did not know much. I never thought of myself as someone that would live in China. I imagined myself in Dubai. I think Dubai at some point in time became like a big part of conversation. We all
Yeah.
wanted to go to Dubai, like that's what it was for me. I just wanted to go to Dubai because I've never been someone that wanted to go to America. To this day, I don't. I've never wanted to go anywhere else, but there was just something about
Dubai.
um Dubai, I was like, oh, okay. And I then thought of, okay, let me just go back and do my teaching course in order for me to go to Dubai, blah, blah, blah. But then when the China opportunity came, I was like, great. So yeah, I took it. I took it and I ran with it.
Wow. Sorry, somebody is asking, what did you teach in China? The person is watching live, and the person is asking, I'm taking my charger off my laptop before.
Oh, okay, no worries. Oh, okay. What do I teach? No, I'm still in China. I teach English. I'm an ESL teacher, so that's what I do. I teach English. I've been teaching English here for the last 5 years. So that's what I do. I teach English. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you didn't know anything about China. You were just so happy to come to China. Wow.
Right. I said to you, I told you now that Hong Kong was the capital city of China.
Wow. Okay. I the person is asking, did you experience any prejudices in China?
You know what I always tell people? I say it's the most unfortunate thing. When you're black, I say born is seen. It's not just here. You'll experience it everywhere. If you think it's just in China, you need to go out there. It's not just in China. You will experience it everywhere. Black people everywhere in the world, and it is what it is. And with that, I would just say every black person needs to understand you're not the exception. It happens to everyone. Even if you see a black person seeming in denial, it's fine.
Yeah.
Let them be. It's their own coping mechanism. It's their own illusion. It is everywhere. So there are people that are ignorant. I don't let that affect me. If you're ignorant, that's your problem. Because at the end of the day, the one thing that I always fight for as a black woman is my confidence. I don't want anyone to um, give me their negativity and ignorance and make me question myself, because to this day I believe that black people are chosen. We are the children of God. We are the true children of God, and this is why the world is so obsessed with us. So for me, no one's going to tell me otherwise. You're not going to make me doubt myself. What you mean? I'm black here, so
Yeah, there's another question before we even go to the other question. He's saying, are you married? Will you date or marry a Chinese man? Before I allow you to even answer that, what are some of the prejudices you experience in China? I'd like you to just mention some.
right, obviously, just having to be reminded every time that I'm black as if it's a bad thing, by ignoring people. And with that said, this is why I'm telling you that it's not a China thing also, because even back home, I've had white people treat me bad because where I'm from,
Yeah.
I live with white people and I know exactly what they do, especially when they do that smile. They have the smile, that smile. I'm telling you, that smile. So I did not start in China. I think for most like people from West Africa, when they get here, the experience is a big shock. For me, it was just another thing. I mean, you know what I mean? But I don't care. I don't care because I know if someone wants to make me feel bad for being black, there are 10 other people that want to be like me. In fact, even that very person secretly wants to be black. You know what I mean? Because why are you so obsessed? So I see it as an insecurity thing that people do. And of course, I've experienced it. Of course, I have. I'm not going to lie about it. I have, but it's never been something that I carry with me. It's just one of those things that I shrug off. There are other things that I need to worry about. There are a lot of problems that I need to face. I'm not going to be worried about someone's ignorance, really, because guess what? You are going to travel and you're going to experience exactly what you just did to me, because it's black people, it's Indians, then it's Chinese. All of us will face the music. So you'll get it. You'll
Wow.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm impressed by that confidence that you had. He's asking, you answer his question. Are you married? Will you date or marry a Chinese man?
No, I am not married. And yes, I would marry a Chinese person. I would marry anyone that I feel like he is on the right path. And I don't care about color when it comes to love. And I'm I'm not one of those people that are just like, oh, because I'm black, I only want to date black, or I've only dated black. I don't think so. I don't limit myself like that, because also this race things are just social constructs. They're not really things that so I don't let that stop me from enjoying life or love.
Oh, wow. You said anyone, you don't care about skin color, anyone on
No.
the right path. What is right path? Probably somebody is watching and
I must watch, but no one marry them. They can watch that and even hear my answer, but it's not them. But
yes, he has even
the right
asked the same question
the
I
right
have
path
asked.
is
He said,
being of a sober mind, being kind, being very, very self-aware. I like people that are self-aware, that don't need to be validated by society, and people that have a healthy relationship with God. And that even goes for friends. So yeah, that's the right path for me.
"Oh, wow. I think you have answered his question. What do you consider the right path? Is it faith, religion, spirituality?" And yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so our viewer, I don't know where you are watching from. Can you tell us where you are watching from? Thank you for staying to joining. And yeah, he said, I have never thought that Chinese people want to be black. That is interesting perspective. You
Everyone wants to be
mentioned
black. I mean, don't you see?
how how do they how do they want to be black?
The cultural appropriation that we see on a daily basis, where Black women would be told that their calves are not good and that they are fat, yet they go on and have BBLs and all of that. You see people getting their lips injected and looking like ducks. Just the beauty standards alone, Black women have always been paraded as not beautiful, and Western beauty standards have always been something which is carried, as the beauty standards. And we are supposed to feel inferior. We are supposed to feel less of. We are supposed to want to have Western features. We're supposed to wear this hair that I'm wearing in order
Yeah.
for viewers to view me as beautiful, or for the world to see me as beautiful. Because if I walk out how God made me, then apparently I am not acceptable enough because of how we are socially engineered as people. So for me, I think that Black people, at the end of the day, if we knew just how beautiful we are, if we knew just how God loves us, we would never ever succumb to anything, and we'd be very stubborn, and we would not allow anyone to tell us that we're not good enough. Because at the end of the day, they tell us we're not good enough. They take our music, they take our culture, they take everything, our clothes, our designs, our prints, and they make money out of it. And it's crazy because they take those things and sell them back to us. So that alone tells you that black people are sitting on gold. So that's why I truly I share that sentiment greatly, that they want to be us. Because why are you so upset? If I don't like you, I don't talk about you. Why did it
Yeah.
every day someone is crying about Black people? Unprovoked.
Wow, I'm really impressed. So, thank you to our viewer who is watching from the United States. There's a link sent there if you want to also join with your video session. We have that too as well to have the conversation together. So, if you want to do that, that's so cool. Wow. So, in China, as a single lady, beautiful lady, well endowed, how how are the Chinese men reacting to you? How do
I
how
have
many men yeah
Chinese men in particular.
Chinese men in particular?
Okay. I think it depends on how open-minded they are and whatnot. Luckily, I can't hear Chinese, so I don't know. But I have never gotten any looks that I'm gross or what. I always get compliments. I always get told that I'm beautiful, and I feel like if I spoke Chinese, they would definitely be flocking. But I've had those that speak English ask me out. I've never had any problems. I don't have any problems really. I just don't go out of my way to look on who thinks I'm beautiful, who's not. I just live my life, but I don't care, because at the end of the day, how we think because of our environment. So if the environment tells you, like this environment tells them that you need to get a Russian bombshell, that's who
Yeah.
they believe and what they subscribe to. That's their own problem, but it has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to stop being a beautiful Black woman just because somebody else does not believe that about me. So it's their problem, not mine.
Oh wow, interesting. Our viewer want to join this live as well. He's saying he's not having a video. Do you think we should accept him? We would love to see you. He's having a mic.
Okay, not a problem.
All right. So you're welcome, sir. Is it a sir or a female? I don't know. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, welcome, sir.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, and thank you, Lulu, for allowing us this opportunity to ask you questions and share your time.
Yes, yes,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
So I know we talked a lot about your experience in China as a Black woman, also about dating and such. Is there
Yes.
anything from your experiences that you think other people should know or should be aware of, or any misconceptions people have of living in China?
They've got quite a lot, and I always feel like it's sad,
Yeah.
because I can tell you this much. For me, I have been so blessed. Being in China has changed my life. I would not have gotten the opportunities that I have if I had not taken the chance to come here. And China is very, very beautiful. It's a safe country,
Yeah.
and life here is very, very convenient. And I've never had experiences of living elsewhere, so I can't fully compare. But based
Yeah.
on what I read in the news and what I understand about the world, I feel like China is the best place to be.
Interesting. I'll tell you, as
Yes.
Wow.
someone who lives in the United States, it's interesting to hear, because we have our own perception of China, obviously. Chinese American relations is pretty global.
I find it sad and ignorant how you guys
Yeah.
are sometimes,
Which
because I
perception?
know, yeah,
In, in,
the thing is, it's not wrong though, because I think that for the longest, America has been like the greatest, but unfortunately, that has not allowed you guys to truly embrace what other countries are capable of, or the beauty of other countries, and sometimes not being so competitive sometimes. And by this, I'm saying it because I have seen just how sometimes, you know what I saw on Instagram the other day, they showed Chongqing, right? And all the
yeah.
Americans were like, it's ugly. And they were like, it's beautiful. And then they were like, that infrastructure won't last, it will fall. I'm like, jealousy. But I look, I never get into it because I know Americans. But yeah, I just think that really, I wish sometimes it's difficult to explain to people. I feel like every American owes it to themselves to travel outside, especially to
Yes.
come to China. Once you come to China, you will change your mind a lot about the things that you know or have heard about China. You'd actually have a huge cultural shock, and most likely would not want to go back to America.
Have you
Wow.
visited America?
No, I haven't, and I don't know if I want to. Hey, I don't at this point. The current America, not so much. I'm not interested. I've
Really?
seen it though. I think when you grow up in South Africa, that's all you consume. America, our pop culture is largely influenced by America, so we know a lot about America. We
True.
watch a lot of American things. Like America is in our face. I feel like SA is like the America of Africa, really, because we are
We
like,
export our culture. Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
guys do that. You're very influential in terms of your culture. So I do know a lot of America, a lot of things that happen in America. I watch a lot of podcasts that discuss currently like a lot of things. It's a pity now my girl, Candice Owens, is gone. So I'm not up to date. So yeah, I keep up a lot with American current affairs. So yeah.
Do you think that
Wow.
China is competitive at all? Do you think that they are intending over time to sort of become the next superpower, the next influence globally?
I think every country should want to be like that. I think that's what it's very important to do that, because when you do that, it means
Yes.
that you care about your citizens, that you want to grow your economy, because you are able to influence the world culturally, you are able to influence the world through all spheres. So I think it's very, very important for every country to want to do that. And if China has managed to execute that, then that's great. They should continue. I think they're on the right path. I think it's beautiful because many years ago, one wouldn't have thought that China would be this way. And here they are. And I think it's a testament to the rest of the world and the world leaders that if you're really focused and you care about your people, you can do right by them, you know? So I'm really, really proud of what China has done. And I think that this should be a case study for all the other countries to really, really, really try.
Wow. Wait, before we even continue, our viewer who just joined, can you tell us your name? I don't know how to address you or call you.
Oh no, it's exactly as I wrote it. No, that's however you choose to pronounce it is perfect. I have no
Can you,
hiccups.
Lulu, did you get the name?
No, I didn't.
I didn't. Sorry.
What did
Oh,
you say?
is it not typed out? I'm so sorry.
Pando.
That's why his name is Tausu or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. I've
Oh yeah,
never
there we
seen
go.
him.
Yes, that's correct.
Tausu. Oh, that's correct. I
Yep,
was, oh,
Is it
wow,
that?
cool.
Is that not an African name? Tattoo.
it is.
Tausu.
No, it's not. Does
Oh
it sound
wow.
like one? That is interesting.
Okay,
Oh,
what does
this,
the name mean?
Oh, that's it's kind of personal to be honest, but it
oh,
has
okay.
some. Yeah, it has some historical significance.
Oh,
That's
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Now
I would like
it
to.
sounded very African.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I also thought so. I'd like to ask you. He said there are some perceptions they have, misconceptions they have about China. What are those kinds? Can you tell us some?
Are you asking me?
Yes, yes.
As an
So I would.
American, yes, you should
Yeah,
tell us.
So
yeah,
yeah, I would say as an American, our perception of China oftentimes revolves around socioeconomic factors. So, for example, what is the ability to say take on business capitalism, because China is seen as being very communist. Now, I think in reality, though,
yeah,
China, from what my knowledge, has sort of let go of some of those old school socialist communist mentality to sort of open up a lot of its businesses, similar to Vietnam in many
yeah,
respects. But that's probably one misconception Americans have. But the other would be about just freedoms, just general perceptions and definitions of Bill of Rights,
yeah,
freedoms of thought and speech, because
Okay.
our notion of freedom is very different from many other countries. So, for
yeah,
example, in China, there is a certain level of social credit we hear about. There's a certain
yeah,
level of censorship that we hear about. There's a certain level of government intervention, sort of like a parent
yeah,
state, that we hear about. And so, from our perspective in the United States, we're very, very paranoid of that sort of thing. We're very, for the most part, I would
yeah,
say many of us tend to be uh, very suspicious of government or very cynical of government. We also like to have no censorship if possible, but that's changing. You see a lot of difference of opinion on what should be censored, what shouldn't. But
yeah.
that's, I say, would probably be the biggest misconceptions or just perspectives of the United States on China.
Oh wow, interesting. I made several videos mentioning about how China is developing. I get several comments from Americans saying I'm doing propaganda, and I was like, I didn't even understand why they said I'm doing propaganda because I was just sharing an experience of me living in China for 5 years, and I was just surprised to see those kind of comments, and I mostly get it. So I don't know why that propaganda thing comes in. I don't know.
Well, I
It
think
happens
there's
a
a lot
lot.
of
It happens a
competition.
lot.
Well, I think there's a lot of competition right now between China and the United States in terms of military might, but also in
Yeah,
terms of social influence. Look at TikTok. I don't know if you're
yeah,
aware of this, but the TikTok app in the United States was recently uh, being voted on and is likely to pass to be made illegal because of China's ownership of the
yeah,
application. The issue being that because China has very see, unlike in the United States, a company is disconnected from the government. In China, our
yeah,
perception or understanding of Chinese laws is that companies are at the mercy of the government. The government always has precedence to go in and
yeah,
essentially do whatever it wants. So if the government of China sort of distanced itself from an app or from a business application that Americans
Yes.
use, then they may allow it to be legal. But if it is deemed, this is again from their perspective,
Yeah.
if they deem that China has an unduly amount of insight into users, American users, then it can be
Yeah.
seen as dangerous. So that's their concern, is that China may have too much power when it comes to technology and being able to monitor
Several
United
things
States
from
civilians,
US.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, monitoring what their habits are, where they're at, etc.
Oh wow. Interesting.
Now,
Oh.
now here's the thing, though. I will say I'll be transparent. My experience personally is in
Yeah.
technology, so I do know some things, not everything, and I've had to deal with cybersecurity before. So I don't disagree with a lot of the sentiment that you're
Yeah.
hearing, but it has been somewhat politicized. Uh,
Yes.
because even though, yes, applications such as TikTok, which are owned by China or have some parent company owned by China, that can be a risk. It doesn't necessarily mean that China would be using it. But again, that's up to people to discern whether they're willing to take that risk or not. Because like I said, there's a lot of military competition right now, and especially the last 5 years, I would say we've seen huge strides in military technology as well as spying technology. But again, that's perhaps a whole nother discussion.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, you wanted to ask Lulu some question and I interrupted. So you can ask her now.
No, shoot, I don't remember what was the was it about
Yeah, no,
faith?
it's because now you got into
I got too into it. I'm so sorry.
yeah,
I
you
will
got
say,
into it.
I will say one thing that fascinated, because you did mention about how if a person is on the right path, right, in terms of like dating, marriage, because you mentioned you are single. And I'm just curious. I too am single, and I'm wondering from your perspective as a single individual, not even just as a woman, but just as a single individual,
Yeah.
when you go to a new country, there must be, well, how do I say this? There's obviously going to be some expectations as an adult going into another country, another community, another society. Do you find
Yeah.
yourself at all having to compromise on not necessarily your beliefs or core beliefs, but what you're willing to accept in terms of relationship? Or do you stay stringent in your convictions?
Okay. Wow. I wish I could lie. I wish I could lie, but I won't. Um, the truth is, we don't get it right all the time. We don't. We never. And I think that as a woman of a particular age, you do get that pressure that, oh my God, I need to be in a relationship. Oh, I must be in a relationship. Oh my God. And it has to do also with your environment. Your environment determines a lot of the decisions, especially if you live in China, because I can tell you this much. In China, we don't have a lot of foreigners, and people are not really secured in terms of um, their next move. So sometimes how they maneuver relationships is quite different from how they would in a much more settled thought type of vibe, where they would know how to think ahead, like 5 years ahead, but it's kind of hard to negate where you would like to be 5 years and be adamant on it because of how we things happen around here. So I feel like that affects a lot of people when it comes to relationships. So now with me, what happened in the past is that when I moved here, I was very, I think I listened to people tell me about China in terms of relationships, but they were fear mongers. They were very, very negative people. They would be like, "Oh, you can't find love in China. Oh my God, you can't find love in China. Oh my God, people will take you for, they will play you out." So that stayed with me. And unfortunately, when you get into relationships with that mindset, that's not good for you because you're overly paranoid. You're
Sure.
not able to give people a fair chance. You are
Yeah.
always looking out for mistakes in people, and you don't become a healthy partner. And I made those mistakes, and I think that also happens because when you forget God, you become paranoid, you become overly anxious. Even
True.
in
True.
relationships, you have a suspicious partner because you are always looking for something. And I guess I made those mistakes. And But then once I realized that, no, man, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. I don't need to be in a relationship. I don't need to worry about being in a relationship and well, all those things. And once I got into that, I got okay with being single. And time just went. It just went, and I got used to it. And it just became one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh no, I'm still single. Oh wow. Okay, but it's not really like, I don't believe in, as a woman, I don't believe in finding love. I believe that wherever that it's meant to be, it will, it will happen at the right time when it needs to happen. Just as many other things in my life that have happened that I did not need to do extra things to get. So even with a relationship, I do it because I'm not looking to play. So that means that I have to now not just allow anything or anyone. So even if you can go on a date and have coffee, or you can talk to someone, but if you feel that that person is not right, you don't need to compromise. And I don't compromise. I'm open to talking, but I'm definitely not open to compromising myself just because I don't want to watch TV alone. So I'm not bored. So and because I'm not bored, I'm not gonna allow anything, because I don't want to be with someone I don't like, someone that I don't respect, someone that I don't admire, and whose purpose I don't align with. So for that reason, I'm okay. I'm okay. But I do go on dates, I do talk to people, but if I feel no.
And the worst thing that could happen, and I'm speaking perhaps from my own perspective, but I think one of the worst things that could happen being single is you become too comfortable in it. And then time passes, right? And as a man, we don't have the same biological clock, so to speak, as women. So it's
True.
understandable that there are, different sort of motivations and different time constraints, so to speak.
I know.
On a practical level. But at the same time, it's fascinating how, and I've seen this in my own life, even having not traveled, is that when you are passive, right, and you hope something happens, it really depends. I wonder if there's sort of an expectations that others act. And this also goes to the notion, this may be plays into the difference between societies or cultures, but where I come from, it's always expected that men initiate, right? So women can be more passive in my culture, while men are expected to act, right, and to be the ones to instigate the relationship. So for me, I have a hard time, or let me put it this way: I think it does more is more of a detriment to me to be passive and accepting to be comfortable, because it's more likely that I will remain single. So as a man in my culture, I have to be more assertive. I have to seek out, and I have to go out and seek it. But I'm wondering, like in China, have you noticed any interesting sort of, how would you describe, mating habits, dating habits within the Chinese culture?
Yeah. I think with everything, I always say, like I was talking to a friend of mine, I said to them, the thing is, people, and I'm not judging, but people move as though there are no other countries and no other people or no other outside this place. And you see people compromising what they want just so that they don't spend time alone. Because I can tell you this much, being a foreigner in China is very lonely. And if you're not someone that is used to being alone, or you don't understand what it means, to being alone, it's going to feel very empty and alone. And you will find comfort in things that are not going to be helpful for you eventually. So I've seen people just date people that even back home, they wouldn't even look at, they wouldn't be in the same room. Like they would. They wouldn't, but because they don't want to be alone, and sex becomes a big motivator in how people move and decide relationships, then now they settle. And I don't think that's a good idea, because as a woman, you need to be with someone that you look up to. I think someone that you can be comfortable with, that is comfortable with you. Because I don't think that relationships are solely based on love. I think relationships are solely based on being in agreement about the journey and what it is that you guys want and what you want to pursue and what it is that you expect out of life. And you also have your own individual needs and desires that somehow you're still able to meet while you're with this person because they complement your life so well. So with all of those things considered, I've seen people that have had healthy relationships, people that have gotten married, and I've also seen people that have just dated anything with a pulse, and I don't think that is good because also it's not a good feeling. Like I'm a woman also. I'll speak because I'm a woman. Men are different people. You guys are sexual beings and all. We all are. However, men, your testosterone and all those things.
It's so high.
But for us, for women, a woman can stay long without sex. You can
Yeah, I
stay.
believe it.
You don't need to have sex every time. And also, I mean, so for that reason, I think if you don't think about it and everything does not have to do with sex all the time. You find other things that can help you keep busy. You will not have to find yourself in positions where you're settling and just dating anything and anyone just because you don't want to be alone. Just as you wouldn't want to find yourself in a position whereby you are finding yourself resorting to things such as alcoholism or other things just because you don't want to be alone, because there's a lot of things that happen here that you find yourself doing just because being alone is so frustrating and so
Yeah.
it feels empty somewhat. But if you really, I think if stay put, your tribe will find you. You will make friends. You will meet the right person. Maybe your person is not in China. Maybe your person is somewhere in the Philippines or somewhere in Ghana or somewhere. You know what I mean? So I'm a big believer that you will find your person. I'm not gonna chase. I'm definitely not gonna do that. I'm very, very protective of my life because I've worked so hard for my life and my sanity and everything. But and also what you said about the biological clock. Luckily for me, I came into China with a daughter, so I already sorted that biological clock out. So I'm
Ah,
sorted.
okay. Gotcha.
Oh,
So luckily for me, I have a daughter, so I don't need to worry about biological clock. I've already clocked in, so I can live my life. I can live my life, and I'm so blessed to have a daughter because God has shown Himself through my daughter. My life took a 360 when I gave birth and I became a mom, and I had to learn how to now truly not just do things for me, but to do them for the next person. It's been such an amazing journey because I know now when I move, I'm not just moving for me. And even when I date, I think about my child because I don't want my daughter to look at me like a loser. I don't want her to say, "Oh, mom, is that the best you could do?" I
Yeah,
need
I
to be
see
very
that.
careful about the men that I allow in my life because I feel like that person will have a big impact on her. So I'm also very, very mindful of that.
Well, if I may ask, is your daughter still living with you in
No, no,
China?
no. My daughter has always been raised by my parents. I just go home often to see her. So
I
she's
see, I
raised by
see.
my parents, yeah, because my parents give her structure. They take good care of her. They've done such a good job. I don't even know. Like when I think about whenever I play around with the idea of bringing her here, I'm always like, oh my god, oh my god. I don't even know how that would play out,
Yeah, sure.
But
yeah,
so far it's been working well. But we'll see. What's going to happen in the near future. Because I also would want her to share in my experiences as well. But so far,
yeah.
everything is okay. I like the consistency and the stability that she has now. I don't want to take it away from her.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
enjoying the conversation so much. So, yeah, we can continue about the China experience, and our time is fast spent. We are almost getting to uh half more than half an hour now.
Yes.
Yeah. So, looking at our time, we have to wrap up and talk about some of the few things in China. What are some of the challenges you face in China, Lulu, so far? You came in China in which year? I didn't ask that question.
Okay, I came to China 2019. For me, I never really had challenges in terms of. I think the biggest challenge for me, and this for a fact, is the language. Eish, eish, that is a big, big, big. That is a massive challenge for me because I truly, truly I don't understand. I have tried to open my ears. I have tried to practice. I tried to get you to teach me. I gave up because I truly don't understand. It's so hard for me. I don't even know why I don't understand this language. I have tried everything. So that has been my biggest challenge. But otherwise, I have faced challenges that I feel are faced by many other people, foreigners. You get challenged at work. You get challenged through, friends. You make friends, and you get disappointed. But those things, honestly speaking, there are things that happen here that I'm like, these things happen everywhere. It's not just here. They're not China problems now. These
Yeah.
are global things. You fight with your friends back home, you fight with people, and you break up with people, and it's through when you date and you break up with people. Sometimes that's when you realize that I was saying this the other day. You learn certain things about yourself, either through breaking up with a partner or with a friend. That, oh, I'm not so perfect after all. Oh, so I do have this flaw. And then you then self-assess and reevaluate yourself, and you work on yourself. So I have had to learn a lot of things, those experiences, that okay, I'm not perfect. I have flaws. I need to work on this and that. So those challenges, to me, every challenge that has come in my life has become a blessing somehow. Although when I'm experiencing it, of course, like any other person, it hurts, it's disappointing. But when I reflect, I'm like, okay, that was important, that had to happen. And I think that
Yeah.
also affected how I viewed relationships, and how I decided that, okay, fine, let me just chill, let me just relax. When the time is right, um, you know, I will definitely be with the right person, because I also look at the people that I surround myself with. I know amazing, amazing people. And I'm like, yeah, okay, okay.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
you seems to always take privilege of every challenge you go through. So far, even with the apart from language, you are talking about everything is something normal that every person goes through. So with the language personally, how are you able to live or survive in China without being able to speak the language?
Thankfully, this country is so advanced. And Wi-Fi is not a problem. Airtime is not a problem. Data is not a problem. I use my translator, and I think that's the one thing that has really ruined it for me. I think if I hadn't used it, I would have
Yeah.
learned. So I use my translator to communicate, and yeah, that's all. I don't know why, but I know so many Chinese people that speak English, and I always tell them they ruin it for me, because why are you here with your English? Why are you here? I should be learning Chinese. You know what I mean?
English is
So,
the most common language. Usually,
yes,
I would say English is probably one of the most common languages worldwide. I think even India,
yes,
for
yes.
example, is one of their official languages. I think that's part of
Oh,
globalization, probably colonization historically.
Yeah,
yeah.
but personally in China it's not like that. About we can say only 5% can speak English in China.
That's why it's,
So
it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. Like even for the most basic things, like sometimes I want to make a call, like I want to ask somebody a question, like I want to ask something, I can't, and sometimes I really want to ask. But I can't. It's so frustrating. And before I used to bother my friends, like, "Hey, please call for me and ask." But I felt like, that's too much. Let me just stop.
So
So
translators have been very helpful, huh?
very, very, it comes in handy. It comes in handy. I don't know how I do it, but I do it. And I keep on saying that I'm shy and everything, but I'm a survivor of note. So because of my confidence, I'm able to do things. I do things. I go into spaces. I don't care. I go into spaces. I do what I want. I do what I want. I went to some other odd gym somewhere down the road the other day, and they looked at me because that the Chinese area, where there's no
yes,
one
yes,
that speaks English. I just studied gym. They're so intrigued by me. It's not even funny, but I don't care. I don't care, because there are some really, really kind and nice Chinese people. This is why I always tell people: if one Chinese person does you wrong, just leave it. Don't carry it on your head like, oh, Chinese people. You will never enjoy China, and you will miss out on nice Chinese people. Just
That's
as you don't do it with other races, where somebody does something to you, you're like, these people are like this. Don't do that. Don't
yeah,
stereotype people or group people like that. If somebody does something to you bad, it's their own thing. embrace other people because there's some really, really nice people, you know. And I think to him yesterday, some lady was there, hello, what's your name? Hello, I'm Lulu. So,
Wow.
I mean, for me, language has been my biggest challenge. And the other thing that really gets to me sometimes, really annoys me, um, you never get used to. Let me tell you something. That thing
Yeah.
only bothers you when you're having a bad day. When you're having a good day, it's not a problem. I've realized this thing that I'm gonna tell you. When you're
What's
having
that?
a good day, it's not a problem. I've seen it with you guys. Even with you guys are guilty of it. Even for me, I've noticed that no, Lulu, we are acting like this because today is not a good day. Normally. So this thing of them taking pictures.
Oh,
Listen, when I'm having
really?
a good day, okay. But when I'm having a bad day, I want to say something, but I can't because my Chinese is not good. So I'm pissed. Now I find myself fused and I can't, and I need to, you know,
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
so pissed that I need to practice this sentence of, why are you doing this? What are you going to do with my picture? I'm going to write it down in Chinese. I'm going to carry it with me. Once they start, I'm going to read my thing. Why are you doing this? And say it in Chinese. Because that thing, when you're having a bad day, like let's say they really irritated you and you're walking outside and someone comes,
Oh, that's how they do?
that's just, yeah, it's so annoying.
So that comes, I
Oh,
assume, from a very mono-ethnic culture where they've just never seen anyone outside of their own ethnic group, huh?
I sometimes don't think that's it. Yeah? I look, yes, that's it. But sometimes I feel like they do it for content purposes. So it depends on where you are. It depends on where
yeah.
you are. If it's done by a young person or if it's done by, they're doing it for content. They're doing it for their social media, their TikTok
Yeah.
or whatever social media. But if it's an
Yeah.
elder, most likely they just want to, while they're playing cards with their friends, whatever, they want to show them that, "Hey, today I saw an alien. Today."
So you wouldn't
So it
encounter
just
that.
depends.
You wouldn't encounter that in the United States. You know, if you're in
Of
Los
course,
Angeles or
America,
something.
America is more like, you know, like everywhere else in the world, people know this, but you have to understand here, they are just not used to it. Like you have to think
Sure.
about it. If you've never seen anyone different from you, and one day you walk to your shop and you see them,
For the
how would you
first
react?
time. Yeah, you definitely like to react something strange and taking pictures and all
We're not
those things.
that many Florence, we're not that many here, so it's not really something that is, it's just, that's why I'm saying to you, all logic goes away when you're having a bad day because you forget that, oh, most likely this person is from the village and they've never really encountered anyone like me. It does not mean there's anything wrong with me. It just means that they don't know anyone that looks like me. So logic does not apply at that time because maybe I was just not having a good day. But that thing really irritates me, and I'd like to learn some sentences. I want to give it to them. I want to tell them that, okay, you're gonna have to pay me. You're gonna have to pay me because you're not gonna shine there alone in on your social media and give me some money, you know. It irritates me because my hair is like so short and it's gold. And I think I was telling someone, I said, oh, sometimes I forget that I don't have hair. So now when I'm walking outside, they're not taking a picture of me because of me per se. Sometimes it's got to do with this hair, like the way that my look is. It's like, how does, because one colleague of mine asked me like last year when I was
Yeah.
working at another school, she said to me, Lulu, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm okay. She said, well, I mean, your hair. I said, well, okay. In my country, we do this. Women cut their hair. And she said,
Yeah.
why? Are you sick? Like, are you okay? And when she said that, I saw the sincerity in her eyes. So I sat
Yeah.
down and I truly engaged. And I told her, in my country, you can look however you feel. Your hair, if you feel like long today, it's okay. If you feel like short tomorrow, it's okay. We embrace all looks and it's beautiful and it's nice. And she was just explaining to me that here they don't do that. And I understood. So when I'm having a bad day, sometimes I forget, but some days I do remember that, okay, no, it's because of my golden sunshine there. I'm bold and so they're just intrigued by that.
Wow. So apart from these two, you don't have everything is okay about life in China, food. You didn't have any culture shock when you arrived.
Except for the spitting, no.
What is spitting? What is about spitting?
I've heard about this. China.
Uncles do. They're working and they just spit.
Yep, yep.
That is, yeah, that was a big cultural shock. Like that was wow. It took a long time for me to get used to it. To this day, I still react. To this day, actually, the
Yeah.
minute lie when somebody does it, I'm like,
They had. I've heard. This was some years ago that during the Olympics in China, I don't know if it was Beijing or Shanghai, they
Yeah.
had a campaign. The government had a campaign to stop spitting as well as some other sort of faux pas.
have like even in school we do teach kids not to do it, but I think it's one of those things that look we carry over so many things, even all of us. There are things that we take as part of our culture or just as part of our hygiene or who we are from like many years ago, and it's just ingrained in us and it takes a lot of time to get used to, so we have to unlearn those things through school and having to adapt to other cultures or other things. So I think it's just one of those things that are carried over and they have their reasons. I've never really asked why they do it, but I think it's because they don't want to get sick, so they want to keep like phlegm, I think. But I'm not
Yeah.
sure about it as to what particular reason is there for them to do it, because that thing that thing is nasty. But outside
Yeah.
that, I've never really had any cultural shocks. I've
Yeah.
only had very, very intriguing experiences. Like, okay, I've had some really interesting experiences. Very, very interesting. Like
Wow.
my daughter's gonna have stories for days.
Wow. Yeah. Due to our time, I have just two questions for us to end today's live, and um, just to remind you, on this platform, every week we'll be having special guests, most especially people in China, to share their experience, their life in China with us all. And the next question I'd like to ask is, apart from teaching, China is a business hub. Do you do anything apart from teaching in China?
Yeah. Well, we do try, yeah. We do try some things, but you never know, hey. Maybe in future, but for now, I'm just focused on I'm studying, so I'm currently doing my teaching license,
Oh,
and yeah, that's what I'm doing. And yeah, but we do try, things, but when you're here, it's kind of hard to even think of pursuing anything full time. Back home, investing your money in something, because who's gonna manage it? People back home, they think money grows on trees. They think what? They think I don't like they're thinking like, and I don't even think it's because they don't love us. They just don't understand, because we people, we are such survivors. We don't carry our pain. You know what I mean? We look so good, so people think money, money. So
yeah,
when you try to do things back home, they just don't work, because people are not as invested. They don't see the passion, the desperation, and the need, and
yeah,
so it doesn't quite work out. So I've learned not to really do that to myself, just to protect myself. So now I'm doing things that I can control, and
yeah,
so I'm just focused on my teaching, and I love it so much, and it's been life changing for me, and I thank God every day that I'm able to do what I do. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Of course, one day definitely I would love to pursue business full time in China. So help me God. I would really, 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 that is something which is very, very important to me, and hopefully I get to do it. But until then, what he has given me as my bread is something which I will continue to do, and I'll do very well, and I'll be very, very gracious about it, and show gratitude, because that is the one thing that took a lot of burden from me, and it did so many things for me that I can't even explain. But I'm just grateful. So for now, I'm focused on the things that I can, and
yeah,
yeah, some things I just don't want to divulge. Yeah, so I'm
yeah.
keeping my
No, sure, sure.
my things. Yes, but yeah.
Wow, you've been in China for so many years. After all these years, what can you say China has been to you?
Well, I've said that sentiment many times over in our conversation, that it has been life changing. It's been amazing. It's been such a growing experience. I've always been this way, but China added that thing. It added the sauce. I decided the sauce. Wait, the sauce. um, China, China has it has been amazing. It has been growing for me. You, I have grown, and I continue to grow because I've also surrendered to being a student. I've surrendered to learning. So that means I learn from you. I learn from the next person. I don't know it all, and I open myself to learning. And so, because of that, I don't think I would have had the opportunities that I have, or have known the things that I have, had I not come here. Have I not the people that I've met? I've met such incredible, amazing people that have accumulated so much, people that have learned so much, and it's been amazing. I cannot even begin to tell you how China has contributed and changed my life. All I know is that I'm glad that I took that chance. I'm glad that I took that flight. I'm glad that I didn't listen to anyone tell me. As soon as I got here,
Yeah.
I learned things that there are certain people that I should not listen to. And I picked who to listen to. And I'm glad I chose the people that I chose to listen to, because those people have contributed to the woman that I am today. And I'm thankful to them. And I'm glad that I met them. And I'm so happy that I've had those encounters. Some are still here and some have left, but they have really played a significant role in my life. And I'm glad that I've met those people. And so for me, I wouldn't quantify the things that I've experienced here or how China has been just through money or materialistic things. I don't think that
Yeah.
is enough. I look at it in totality, like spiritual, mental well-being, because here, if you are not truly self-aware, if you
Yeah.
don't if you don't have a strong tribe around you, if you don't have the right people, not that anyone is perfect, but if you don't pick right the people that
Yeah.
you surround yourself with, you will not be okay. You will suffer mentally. You will suffer from either alcohol abuse, sexual abuse, or just spiritual loss, because you would not have an identity. You would want validation from all sources, and you would not be um, knowing, you will not be cemented and strong in something. So I'm glad that I was able to meet the people that have helped me not shift, but to sort of stick to the line that I came with when I came here to China. And I'm not gonna front. When I came here, I was really, really, really unhappy. I was very sad. I was very down, and I just had to take this chance. I'm one of those people. When you read those things, those memes that people that came to China because your things were bad. That's me. They're talking about. I'm that girl. You know what I mean? But I've never been someone that likes to be a prisoner of pain or a prisoner of the things that have happened to them, because you can change your life. You can change. You can change your life. You just have to take chances. You just have to not allow those no's to be your permanent no's, because somewhere, somehow, there is going to be a shift. There's going to be a yes. And I believe that to this day. And I cannot even sit here and tell you the things that I have done because of China. All I know is that I'm glad that I came to this country, and I thank God every day.
Wow, that's so powerful. What are your words for anybody doubting to come to China? Maybe somebody has also gotten an opportunity or any like yours. What are your words for these kind of people?
You know your life. Some people, look, we are not from the same backgrounds. Some people have it harder than others. So even if it's not China, if you get an opportunity to change your life, leave those restricting thoughts, those lies that you will eat a dog. Where? Eh? A dog where? What is that? You will play karate. Leave those things. Just as you don't like it when people stereotype you as a Black person, don't do it to other people. Take chances. Don't listen to negative liars. Don't listen to naysayers. Don't listen to those doubtful thoughts, people telling you will die. You will die now. If it's your turn to die, you will die. You can't avoid death. If it's your chance, you will die. Listen, you will die. Just take your chance, pack that bag, and face your dreams, do it. If you don't do it, no one will do it for you. If you don't take chances in life, no one will take chances for you. Only you can change your life. You are assigned your life. God gave it to you for a reason. The opportunities that come are for you, not for your friends, not for anyone. Leave your comfort zone. Stop asking your friends if you should do something. God is your friend. Do the things that you need to do. You will make other friends. You'll make other friends. You'll meet another man. Don't sit
Yeah.
there with your boyfriend. Now you are busy eating fried things, talking the whole day. Go work. You are still young. Use your youth days to work. Use your youth to contribute and change your family. Look at your family. Your friends, they have probably their life is easier, and you think
Yeah.
you're the same, and you're making decisions on your life because of your friends. Like, oh, I can't go just because your friend said they
Comparison.
can't go. You won't go. Okay, my friend, stay there.
Wow. That's so inspiring, and you shared a lot today. And I know anybody who listen or watch this video will really learn a lot from this. I wish we didn't end this session, but due to time, and I know in the future I would love to have you more share several
Oh,
things, especially how can somebody survive in China. And I've really loved the way you have been so open to sharing so many things, which are personal, but you are very open to share. And I know it will be a great impact to so many people. And to our guests who just joined, thank you very much for joining and
Of
for
course.
sharing some talks. And yeah,
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
yeah. So same time every week, mostly every Saturday we have this same time live session. We'll be having special guests from mostly from China to share their life experience with us. And we'll be having people from other countries as well. But for now, we are focusing on China. And stay tuned, and we'll be bringing you special people. Next week, I'll be having a Chinese lawyer. He will be coming to explain some of the laws we need to know as experts if you want to start business in China, you want to invest in China, anything about China. Yeah, he will be sharing all those things that we have to know. Before we leave, I'll let you say your last words, and our guest, you say your last words before we leave. Our guest from America, I don't want to abuse your name, Tusu Toto. I mentioned it.
Those are perfect.
Also, oh,
Well, I
yeah,
appreciate again. Appreciate this time, and I will say, as someone from America who's never been in China, it's been very enlightening, very interesting to hear your perspective, and I certainly will be back. I'd love to learn more about it. And so, again, thank you so much for answering my question so honestly and transparently. Again, appreciate it.
okay, thank you.
very thank you. And our dear Lulu, your last words.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. Thank you for this platform, and I pray for you. I pray that it grows because I feel like these are very important conversations where people can tell their stories and they can be comfortable. And who knows, there's somebody out there might get inspired for them to take a chance and leave
Yeah,
their comfortable spaces and know that there's more to life than what they know, and that we unfortunately have to sometimes leave the things that we love in order for us to create the things that will be loved by many. So I'm very grateful and I'm happy to be here. And yeah, God knows my heart's desires, and I know that everything I want will come. So I'm just very, very happy, and I'm glad that I came on your platform, and I hope my story inspires someone that they just take a chance in life. Yeah, thank you. I can't think of anything else to say. I've said a lot more.
wow. I think next time when we have you, the topic will be how young ladies can also glow like you.
Move to China, you glow. That's the China glow.
All right, to our viewers who just joined and everyone who will be watching later, thank you very much for watching to this end. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and stay tuned for more updates from this channel. This channel is purposely about China. Anything you want to know about China, just subscribe to this channel, ask questions, comment. And if anybody wants to contact you, I forgot that. In case somebody wants to contact you, reach you for any help, any guidance, or anything, do you mind
No,
sharing?
they shouldn't contact me. I mean, what,
Really?
what can I help with? I can't help. Sorry, but I can tell you this much. There's no greater help than God. It's not fashionable anymore, but I can tell you this much. Go, 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 and get closer to God, and your life will change and things will be okay for you. No, no one should contact me. I mean, what for? I don't understand.
Okay.
There's no contact. I don't want contact. I mean, what? I want to talk to people that I don't know. Like, no, I'm not. If I was an influencer or something, I would understand. But um, yeah. But for now, I think no, there's nothing really. I think
Yeah.
no, there's nothing. I think the only thing I would say that they can check out my website, but I haven't finished it yet. So they can check out my website once it's finished, limitlesslulu.com. So if you're a lady and you want to glow and you want some stylish things, so maybe you can go on
Yeah.
there. So it should be ready maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. But that's it. Yeah, I would really appreciate the support, but otherwise, no contact.
Okay.
But if
Yeah.
you want to contact, there's a message thing there on the website. You can click there and ask about your order.
All right. Sure. I'll be putting the link of your website in the description box,
Thank
and
you.
I'm sure people will reach you for business and not. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they for the limitless.com. Yes. Yeah, I don't the thing is I don't want to give advice or those things because I feel like that is not my path, that is not my assignment right now. So I don't want to say that call me if you want to know about China, because I don't want to give ill advice. I think you guys are more well
Yeah.
equipped in giving people advice how to come to China, careers and all those things. I'm just not well equipped for that. But there are so many places if you want to learn about how to come to China, so many legitimate groups that one can join. And, there's just use the internet for good. Use the internet for good. Stop trolling there on Instagram, commenting on celebrities all day. Use the internet to help you. Will definitely find what you need from the internet. Everything is there, all the questions that you have. So I wish you well, and I wish your viewers and everyone well. They take a chance in life.
Yeah, wow. Thank you so much. And before we end this live, I'd like to answer his question. He said, are there churches in China? Yes, there are churches in China. We are allowed to worship freely, but the only difference is you are not allowed to worship with the Chinese together. The Chinese always have different time to worship in the church, and foreigners also have different time to worship in the church. Apart from that, yeah, there's freedom of worship. You can worship freely.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much, and thank you so much, our glowing lady Lulu, for
Thank you.
having us. And this is where time will permit us to end today's live. And see you next time. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah,
Tell them to
subscribe, subscribe,
yeah.
subscribe.
All right then. Bye bye to
Bye bye.
everyone.